I'm Jason Whiteley, along with Berna Steptoe, our political producer at Channel 8, and Bud Kennedy of the Star Telegram. Let's talk about the 5th Congressional District. Jeb Hensarling has had this seat for a long time. Almost 20 years, almost 2 decades now. He's decided to give it up. He's retiring. What do you think about this, Bud?
This is another one of those seats. You know, there's so many open seats in Texas this time. This is another one that's a little hard to tell. The district has changed a lot in 20 years. It goes from the east side of Dallas all the way down through Athens, Henderson County, into East Texas. But you've kind of got the battle of the endorsements in this. You've got Bunny Pounds, who was a big fundraiser for Jeb, and really responsible for a lot of Hensarling's contacts back home. And then you've got Jason Wright, who's endorsed by Cruz. And then you've got Kenneth Sheets, the former state representative, who is still highly regarded. So you've got a lot of pretty potent Republicans in this race. You could have a May runoff.
Well, this will probably go to a runoff, won't it?
Well, I agree, but I also want to sort of piggyback on what Bud said in terms of endorsements. I think that that's going to be just as interesting because you're going to see who has the power in that district. Since you have the retiring congressman as well as a senator. They're endorsing in that race and endorsing different people.
And let's hit on that again, who the endorsements are for. Ted Cruz jumped in for Jason Wright.
And Hensarling jumped in for Bunny Pounds.
Congressman for Bunny Pounds.
Mm-hmm. And then Kenneth Sheets has a lot of the mainstream Dallas County Republicans.
And that was a very tight race that he lost against Victoria Neave 2 years ago.
Pounds is an excellent fundraiser. So she's going to get the money as well.
She knows a lot of people.
She knows a lot of people. And she has raised money for a lot of people.
One thing we've talked about, just in the background, is this the year of the woman, considering the Me Too movement? Does that mean women have a better chance of winning any of these seats?
I think they hope so. And I think that this will be a test, particularly in Texas. Because if the women don't come out and vote for those candidates, then there is a question mark. But I think that the Democrats, not in this particular seat, we'll talk about that in other seats where it's primarily Democrat, but I think that it raises another question about Democrats. Do they support their main constituent, which is a woman?
Well, they can get the vote out too.
Well, I know that that's true for Democrats. The Democratic women are coming out. Republican women haven't had big organization, but all Republican women want to see more women in Congress.
Absolutely. So that's something to really watch during this election cycle.
So does it come down to 2 against 1?
Will this go into a runoff, the 5th?
I think this goes to a May runoff.
It should.
I think it should too.
It should.
Considering who you have running and the endorsements we've talked about?
Well, I was going to say if it doesn't, that's questionable that you have all of these candidates, you have women, and then it doesn't even get into a runoff.
The Democrat is Dan Wood. He's a former DA. He'll have a little bit more money than the usual Democrat. He'll have some support, but it's not ready to flip.